So we encountered different challenges, like I said, for the first foster child from the 3 that we fostered to adopting. And each challenge was different. Each kid was different, obviously. And so we have really had to really pray and really seek God and His Word and just be on the same page with everything. Some of the challenge that we faced were how to deal with like the outbursts of anger, how to deal with kids that have so much abuse, so much trauma, that have been abandoned and neglected and have had their walls up, like for example, when we first got, I talked a little bit about I think the first child that we had, he had a lot of outbursts of anger and just dealing with that. Like, how do you unconditionally love a kid? How do you help them through that? How do you teach them? How do you, all of those things. And so that was really a challenge, learning how to navigate all of those things, and with the love of God and with His Word, and asking for help, with Familia Lightshine, or other people that had more experience than us, or just we needed wisdom from. And the second thing that was a challenge too is like when our daughter came, she was very like a robot. She was just would walk around like yes, because she was so hurt and so. Because of the abandonment and the abuse, everything she had gone through, she didn't know how to function in a family. And another thing that was different was these kids have never, our kids that we had, our kids, they had never been hugged or kissed. So that was all new to them. Like it was just like mind-boggling. How could you have never received a hug or a kiss? Like, I'm sorry, but. That was hard. Learning when to hug them, when to stop, what's okay, what's not okay. And now our kids, like I can say, they're super affectionate. Like if you saw them, if you were taping them today, you would be like, oh my God, they're the most like affectionate kids in the world. They're always in our laps, kissing us, hugging us, They've changed like night to day. And I mean, that's been like a year process now, but that was one of the challenges, learning boundaries with them, learning how to discipline them, how to correct them with love, with discipline, with not being too overboard. And there's a lot of challenges, that I don't know if you have anything to add on that, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's being a new parent, at the same time, how do we structure our time? I work a lot, trying to manage, from the first little boy, he was, like my wife was saying, his emotions, his lack of, emotions that he wouldn't even show it to us, or just what did you say to a little 5-year-old that he's been hurt, he's lost trust on people, and it was kind of hard for us, as we wanted for him to love us, to spend time to us, but as the process went, and with the challenges that how do I be able to talk to him in a way that he will gain our trust, and all this stuff, it was challenging for us, because like my wife was saying, is being a new parent is not easy. It wasn't like, hey, I just swing a stick and we know what to do. No, everything was new and we made errors. But at the same time, we learned during our process with this little boy, that he taught us how to handle different situations. And, he taught us a lot as a couple, as a married couple. And also, one of the challenges that it was like the same time, how do we manage our time together? How do we manage our time with him? But at the same time, we knew that this little boy wasn't in a family structure. So we started, my wife's very good about developing like times, to spend, or a structured schedule. So that's what we started doing, all this stuff. So a routine. So we learned all this stuff. The challenges, we do this, we shouldn't do this. So a lot of the times, that was some of the challenges, our time, and being a new parent, that's basically, to be able to handle different situations with this little boy. But he taught us, and then we go to our second foster, and then we were a little bit like, okay, we're a little bit experienced a little. You know, it's almost three. It was like teenagers almost, a 12-year-old and then a 10-year-old and an 8-9-year-old. So it was like, wow, they're already grown up. But like my wife was saying, you know, it's, when they got here, it's like man, they didn't have no joy. They didn't have any.
Robots.
Yes, just like stones, and
Very
you know,
guarded.
when you would try to give them a hug, they were just stiff, and that's one of the things that gets me is like, yeah, how can these little boys and these little girls, and for so many years they were just, nobody wants them, and that was some of the challenges for us, because you know, my wife is very emotional, as you can see, but at the same time she loves to give hugs and kisses, and they were not used to that. So a lot of times it was like, are we being rejected or what? But a lot of times, you know, we just continue with the process of trusting God and trusting each other, communicating with each other, and those are some of the challenges that we face during this time with these kids, is that, wow, it's just like, just trusted God for guidance and everything, and wisdom to be able to handle these 3 kids. So
Yeah, because you know, when these children, like for example, our children, the second foster care that we did, they had been in several orphanages their whole lives. So all they've known is institution, all they've known is the system, all they've known is abuse that they've been through in those places as well. And a lot of neglect, a lot of abandonment, and they don't know how to function like, you know, like we say, a normal functioning kid that maybe has grown up in a normal family, you know. So that had a lot of challenges, learning how to navigate them through all of those hurts and wounds and abandonment and rejection and mistrust and on and on and on. It was learning how to navigate that, how to deal with that, how to help them through that, and thankfully, by God's presence, His power, the help of Familia Light Shine, the help of Deep, the help of, you know, other people that have gone through this process before us, we've been able to be able to function, you know, and help them through this. So yeah, that's been one of our challenges.
And we have a full schedule, you know, so that's another challenge, you know, challenges that we, you know, these 3 kids, they're all different grades, so we had to structure our time.
And we do.
So we're able to help them with their homework. It's like, you know, someone says, like going back to school almost. So, but it's been challenging, but it's been rewarding with these kids, you know, that I have learned, and in each one of these kids is taking responsibility now for their own homework, and so it's been awesome what God is doing in these kids' lives lately.